start the show soon. Get in your seats. Oh, the cat does not like me whispering. Nope. Get me out of here. Nope. Oh, wow. Run. All right. I think we're pretty close, kids. Live from the Crescent Moon Temple, it's the morning show. Yep, all right, all right. It's time to play the music, get all the cameras on. It's time for the morning show, and I'm doing it on my own. Oh yeah. We'll quickly check the chat room. There is nobody home. It's time for the morning show. I guess I'm on my own. The host, the guest, the audience, it's what I'm here to be. There's no one even watching. This all depends on me, yeah. But that's nothing unusual. It's just another day. I'm sure that I can do it all if I do it my own way, okay. Hey, that was pretty good. We might go with that. I like that. That's got a good groove. We got the groove. We got the move. We got to come up with something that's different than what we use. Okay, kick up the music, please. Not that music. There we go. Good morning, everybody. It is January 10th, and I have money. Oh, it's amazing how money makes things relax. So, let's talk about progress. Let's talk about volume. That's real wild. There we go. That's kind of okay. That's more where we're looking. Okay. So I have money. I like money. Money's kind of a thing, you know, where you need to have some. So I'm glad that I have some. Current master plan, I am limboed because I am between goalposts. Anytime my account gets over a specific benchmark, I squirrel away some of the cash so that I can live comfortably while at the same time gradually storing money as I need it. My ultimate goal, which is to become an overlord again. For that I need to have 5 to 20 acres of farmland, and that's going to be a whole lot of stuff. Over the last, well, I have been compiling videos. My streaming and uploading speed is real slow. It's been very slow. And so, because we've been going so slow, it's been something of a pain to upload my videos. So a lot of my YouTube videos have been late, which absolutely no one cares because there's nobody out there. There's no sense in deceiving myself. No one cares. But just wanted to apologize to the nobody for my own consistency's sake. That's right. Me. It's my doing. So this morning we have yogurt that's in the setup chamber of my Instant Pot. It's all set up and it's looking good. Oh yes. We're ready to rock here. So we're going to do a little food processing this morning because that sounds awesome. Let's get my lights and I'll walk you through the recipe for yogurt again. I need 14 ounces of Longan syrup. Means I need my measuring cup. Did I take that to work? Oh no. That might make it hard to measure exactly 14 ounces. No, I've got another measuring cup right here. I can use this. So I can use 13 ounces, but I like to use 14 ounces. We're going to get some syrup. Pour it on in here. It looks like water. That is not water. We're going to go with 12 ounces because that's what's in the bottle. Now, I don't like to fight the universe on these things. There's what we got. Here's 12 ounces of Longan syrup. It's going to be slightly unsweet. Slightly undertone. Now I'll take the remaining milk. I'll use it to wash some of that syrup out of this measuring cup. There we go. We'll max out what's available. There we go. Looking good. Go ahead and pour that on in there. Now, when I make homemade yogurt, I don't strain the whey out or anything. I actually put it right back in. That's good nutrition, and I want to have it. It does automatically separate thanks to physics, and I just automatically recombine it. I just shove it right back together. I want these parts as one. So that's what I do. Now I've got my funnel right here. I'll take the whisk from yesterday. One more quick rinse, it's fine. There we go. Okay. We whisk the milk yogurt mix together, nice and vigorous for about 60 seconds. If anything floats up like a hair or anything like that, we get that creeper out of there. We don't want that in our yogurt. I live in a place with cats. Cat hair happens. It happens. You get cats. You get cat. You get cat. That's what happens. Yeah, that's life. You get cat. Tastes about right. Okay. Now, we'll set the milk jug down somewhere secure. Unplug my Instant Pot. We're going to be lifting a big old heavy stock pot full of yogurt, nice and steady now, both hands. And we're going to, what we have to do is balance the stock pot on our chest and slowly pour while lifting the funnel so that the funnel has air. That will cause the funnel to flow quickly. You do this exercise once or twice, you get the hang of it. Now we are slowly backfilling the milk jug that had the milk with completed lassi, which is half and half milk and homemade yogurt. What this is an extremely healthy drink that I like having in the morning. If you have an Instant Pot, it doesn't take much time or effort to make this. You could do it too. I want the maximum health benefits, so as we get low, I'm going to stop and get my whisk again and whisk it up real good. Where'd my whisk go? There it is. Get my whisk again. Make 100% certain that I'm getting all of the good nutrition and nice thick yogurt. Make sure that the mixture is completely homogeneous with no lumps and no residue. Using the last few ounces of liquid, stir it excellently, and then into the funnel it goes. Now, due to physics, it's going to be not quite enough space to store all of this yogurt, and I was expecting this, so I am watching the last few ounces with rapt attention. We are full. There it is. Okay, now we put the cap on the lassi. There we go. And I get my glass for the morning. We're gonna get a glass of lassi. Every single ounce of syrup that went into the lassi has just become an ounce of lassi. So since I used 12 ounces of syrup, more or less, I get 12 ounces of lassi. Because I started this adventure with a full gallon of milk. I turned half of the milk into yogurt, left the other half as whole milk, and then after 8 hours, add the milk to the yogurt, so it's a half and half. Add the syrup, which sweetens it up nicely. I just use about 12 ounces. This time I was hoping for 14, but 12 is fine. Now I'll take the lid of my milk and mark it with a black L in Sharpie, so that I don't confuse it for milk, which might be a bad time if I were to do that. especially if making a recipe. Voila! And my reward, the first cup of lassi. And it tastes good today. It's nice. We're a little quiet on our BGM. We can bring that up now. There you go. Pretty tasty. The first pour off of lassi, it's always the nicest. The art of food processing is about taking food and elevating its quality by combining it, recombining it, and altering it. You can produce a superior product. That's really quite tasty. Delicious. Okay. Now that I've had my morning lassi, I feel quite nice and energized. Let's get some tea started. Between 12 and 14 ounces, you don't notice a big difference in terms of sweetness. I may lower the amount of sugar in my lassi as a direct result. I don't want to have lassi that isn't sweet. At the same time, I don't need to add more sugar than I need. Tuning down sugar is always a good approach when you can. Burp. Let's go over today's topic, shall we? I think it might be about time to go into society and social rules. Now, we have been skirting around this topic for a while, and I opted not to discuss it on the 7th because it was something of a hot button topic at the time. Because it was such a sensitive topic, I didn't want to go into it. Let me put my phone around into support mode. All right. Okay. Yeah, hopped around. That sounds pretty good on this end. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so society and social expectations. We've been talking about this for some time over this last week. As we discussed the Great Seven Firmaments, society is a big part of that discussion. And talking about selfishness versus selfless behavior. Society represents a large group of people who have come together for the sake of support. Now, a family unit counts as a society. For Aboriginal native people living out of the cave and scrawling for embers before they've even mastered the art of fire, still take care of each other. They may not have culture because they're not teaching their own children how to make fire yet. But even without culture, they still have society. Society exists outside culture. They have a family unit. They are willing to support themselves. And animals have societies too, oh, very much so. And this leads to the social dynamic, right? Now there's the outer version of the social dynamic, which is social expectations, and the inner version of the social dynamic, which is social support. The social support system is the key to society. It stands to reason that not everyone can be created equal because we are created randomly, well, semi-randomly. We take the best parts of ourselves, mash them up with others, and cross our fingers. We hope it turns out well. We pray for our hearts to blend and hope that our pains will end. Something Kingdom Hearts-ish. Anyway. Let me get some tea started so I stop blathering meaninglessly and start blathering meaningfully. Earl Grey, please. Thank you. I have got a hold of something very good, but I'm not going to spoil what it is yet because I want to go buy more of it and I don't want anybody rushing out and getting it before I get it. It's mine. Sorry, selfish greed. There it is. Oh no, he's antisocial. Okay. Get that steeping. That should be ready to go. Oh, speaking of sociable expectations, I'm gonna switch my mic off because I gotta use the bathroom. Let's pick up where we left off. So, because humans are not created equal, social structures are useful to us. Younger members can be supported while they are growing, and eventually they can turn and support older members whose strength has faded and help them into later forms of life. Society does more than this, however. In the case that society did not exist, we would all be forced to seek our own food. Every social unit would be comprised of hunter-gatherers or farmers or both. These would be absolutely necessary skills because the food has to come from somewhere, and without a society to lean on, there's no supply. However, the advent of society and its inner strength, one person can specialize. You can get someone who's very talented at farming and gardening, who grows much more food than they actually need to eat. They can provide food to other people. Society leads to the dawn of the specialist. Once you have a person who specializes in gathering food, once you have a person who specializes in hauling water, once you have a person who specializes in these things, a hunter, or possibly even someone like a farmer or a rancher who raises animals for a living, then society can pivot. You can get someone who specializes in making shelters. So now you're not linked to caves anymore. You can choose places that have comfortable environments where it is easier to grow food and raise animals and settle there. Rather than being forced to roam, you can begin to settle into locations. The first villages can form. Once you have architects who specialize in making shelters, clothiers can emerge. People who specialize in crafting clothing and high quality goods for common use. You can get tool makers who improve the lifestyle of everyone by providing useful equipment and tools for others. And they can rely on their craftsmanship in order to trade for food. They can focus on making high quality tools and equipments and allow others to provide food and shelter. And through the providence of high quality tools, everyone's work improves. Once the farmer has access to the tools made by a craftsman, he can use a yoke and a plow, and his work improves. He can now feed even more people. His work is multiplied by using the tools of the craftsman, which is efficient and powerful and well made. The craftsman does the same thing for the architect, the person who is the carpenter. The shelter makers also benefit. They can make much better shelters because they have much better tools to make them from. The craftsman then is the next link in the chain. And then it goes from there. Once you have a person who makes shelter, a person who makes food, and a person who makes clothing, society has become nuclear. I don't mean like they're making nuclear power plants. I mean to say that all of the elements necessary to settle in an area are present. And now society can enter its second tier. Once there are at least 2 tiers of jobs, you can begin to see the advent of the middle class. Craftsmen, builders, farmers, and haulers or movers, people who carry things over distances, right? Porters. These are the necessary baseline. And porters are very important. We don't think about it now that we live in the mechanical age, but shipping used to be a very big deal. Communication, sending items, sending everything. Travel was difficult. So the concept of a porter, a messenger, the communication specialist, the transport specialist was a big deal. Then you start into the middle tier. The first person who shows up is the original middleman, the merchant. The merchant uses his financial clout to buy and sell things. He has wealth. The wealth can be generational. Perhaps he simply owns many valuable things that he has collected over time, or it could be artificial. Maybe it's someone who has an inflated sense of self-worth, or whose worth has been inflated by the community. It's hard to say. But in any case, this person acts as a wealth distributor. They buy things from some people and sell them to others. By acting as a salesman, they help keep finances accurate and everyone on the up and up. The fundamental requirement for being a merchant is trusting your customer and making sure the customer trusts you, while at the same time ensuring that nobody gets ripped off, not you and not your customer. A merchant who pretends to trade fairly and instead rips his customer off is just a thief in disguise. And if you're too generous as a merchant, well, you're going to fail. So being accurate is very important for a merchant. Once you have these things, you have to start looking at crime. Because the presence of a merchant, a society this built up with this many valuable things, will attract people who want to reach the benefits of society without participating in it. So a force of security becomes necessary around the same time that the merchant is available. Once the merchant is there is when you need security. Then there's the specialists, people who only do one thing but are very good at it. The doctor is probably the first. No, let's face it, the first specialist is the prostitute. Well, that's history for you. The second specialist is the doctor. The doctor's job is to make sure everyone... Please don't fixate on the first one. The second is the doctor, okay? Doctor's job is to help ensure people have long lives by fixing their health problems. Boy, that's a tough career. But if you have a track history of being good at that sort of thing, then maybe you can make a living out of it. By focusing on professions, you get people who can advance science and then eventually the arts and move forward society. This helps everyone benefit. The advent of upper-end jobs eventually leads to pyramid structures, management, and ultimately social organizers, otherwise known as government and political systems. In addition to police, you will require judiciary systems at some point to verify claims and settle disputes. And it can help to have structures put in place that help society as a whole. These can include public shelters and food banks, fire brigades, because fire is a very real threat at all stages of human development and life. Now, the fire brigade used to include everyone, but having a specialist can make fire response all the more effective. That's one of the earliest advents, is the presence of a fire brigade. There's sanitation specialists, people who work on water supply, people who run bathhouses or sanatoriums, basically toilets. These specialists help make society run more smoothly. As long as there is resource available, that is to say, as long as there is food and shelter, society can slowly develop. Manufacturing can appear. People can specialize more and more. Ultimately, you end up with pinnacle jobs like the entertainer, people who spend their whole lives only amusing others, the actor, the historian, the person who keeps track of what's already happened to improve the odds that we escape our own mistakes. By reviewing history, we may be able to avoid the mistakes of history. That sounds like a good plan. We all enjoy that. Oh, somebody has yiggity-yacked us. Best viewers. SM garbage jab, thanks for nothing, dorks. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to make you read that awful thing. Well, whatever. Well, let's pick it up. Unfortunately, as society gets larger, you get shits like that which leech on society. All they do is lap up what there is. In this case, they are trying to scam me into buying viewers. But if the viewers mattered, I would have stopped long ago. No, that's not my concern at all. With society's advent comes social expectations. The biggest expectation is that you don't disrupt the fabric of society with what you're doing. Society will deal with layabouts and wasteful people through tolerance. It is understood in a functioning society that everyone has a job to do. Everyone is helping everyone survive. Survival is not guaranteed. It's not even supported in the natural world. It is a challenge, something that must be wrested away from the fingers of death. Hard-earned. And while there is always comfort and light and warm days in society, even in the hunters and gatherers age, it wasn't always cold rain and hard scrabble in the caves. There were warm days and flowers and quiet summer afternoons where the bugs buzzed and everyone just laid down. Life has always been full of light and comfort, but life used to be a lot harder before society got powerful. When society was weak, you were expected to do your share. A person who was perceived as a non-contributor could be ostracized, thrown out of that society. so that they do not burden it or pull it down. These early social structures had no room for wastefulness. A scientist who wanted to devote his life to the study of plants and animals would be very carefully scrutinized. People would see his work as non-productive or counterproductive unless he yielded results. Now, in the case that this plant scientist were to discover a new food source or find some way to process a plant that was previously thought inedible and make it edible, or discover some tool that's actually useful, like for example, inventing rubber, then yes, society would finally accept their contribution. But simply saying, I want to study rocks, and then going off and banging on rocks, that's not going to impress a society. It's a good way to be thrown out and ignored by everyone in it, which will make it very hard to interact with that society and feed yourself. We live in a modern, structured society which is so developed that people don't care what you're doing. That happens right around 2000, I think. You get around 200 people and it gets difficult to remember everyone's name. So that's right about the point, around 200, where you can't so easily predict or control the direction of society. It gets quite difficult to manage. At 2000, you're not even sure you know what society is doing. It can feel like a bit of a pinball machine, where everything is happening in connection and in concert. You don't know what any individual part is doing. Not unless you sit down and study it and make it your mission to figure it out. And then maybe you can suss it out. Sure, if you study it, you take a look. Even today in the modern social world, that's the case. Let me see here. I will draw up. Is my mic on? My mic is on. Okay. Sorry, I'm paranoid now. Let's see here. I am currently living in a town. Hang on. That has around 20,000 people in it, right? So we got about 20,000 people in here. And it's not a huge town, but it's big enough. When you get around this population, the city sprawls for a couple of miles. There are utility companies that help manage water, sewer, electricity, garbage. Restaurants are numerous. There are grocery stores, several. And if you were to follow the industry and infrastructure of every business, many people come from outside the town to work. Just as many people leave the town to go work elsewhere. It maintains a certain equilibrium. And some of us live in the town and work in the town. It's most convenient for us to do that. It's just where we're living for now. And for some of us, it's a permanent choice. We have a plot and acreage, and we're gonna stay here. For others, it's just where we are in the moment. We might move out of this apartment and find ourselves a different place to be and float on down the river. And that's how society is at this stage. But yeah, if you assemble each position, each store, you find between 5 and 80 employees, depending on the size of the business. And then you stage this across well, I'd say a good 500 to 1,000 infrastructures, and that's it. That's the population. These businesses all interconnect to form a picture of Centralia, with inputs like produce and food and manufacturing and outputs and various systems and semblances, from service contracted performance arts such as vehicle repair to the disbursement of goods both to and from post offices, grocery stores. You are expected to not necessarily contribute. People can hang out at this stage but not really do anything, and basically society will just sort of sigh and turn the other cheek. There's too much to deal with. Because we've got past 2000, no one's really sure anymore, so it doesn't matter very much. About 10 times that size. But 100, 200s isn't that big. You'll recognize a lot of the people when you're hanging out in a city this small. So it's fine. It's a nice place to be. It's not a big city yet. It's a sort of place where if you go to get a cup of coffee at the same time you stay, you're probably gonna find you're standing in line with the same few people every day. And that's the beginning of community, and that's okay. The burden of having such a society is that you maintain the fabric of society, that you don't disrupt it. A person who chooses a niche that goes in and ruins it for everybody else is going to have complications. Sometimes this is done on a personal level, from some whack job who stands in the middle of the intersection naked, crying that the world is ending. That's not a productive way to spend one's life. To the businesses, the high-end VP execs that buys some plot of land and decides to stick in a Walmart, because that's going to disrupt the fabric as well. Some highfalutin, expensive business millionaire decides, I'm gonna put an airport right here. That's going to complicate things. The people who already live here will be disincentivized to remain in the area. The airport may long-term attract other business, or it may not. And if you have, say, a need to put up a personal residential house, we don't want you to put that in the middle of the grocery stores. It's inconvenient for everyone to have to deal with your toddler playing on their tricycle while maneuvering down the street near the Safeway. That's how it is. That's why businesses and cities participate in a system called zoning. Residentials are put in very specific areas of the town that are pre-selected. Same thing with industrial and commercial buildings. So if someone wants to put in a Safeway, they're not stuck next to a steel plant. But they're also not allowed to pick the spot right in smack middle of the residential zones. Although there are certain businesses that absolutely can go there. Residential class commercials can spring up pretty much anywhere. You can put up farm stands, bakeries, because these are businesses that residential communities would love to have nearby. That's the thing. If it doesn't disrupt the social fabric, as long as it's contributing positively to the social fabric, no one's going to throw a fit, no one's going to get up in arms. The first thing someone thinks when they realize that a bakery is going in nearby on the corner block is, wow, I'm lucky. Because It means, one, there's going to be a nice smelling building nearby. Bakeries smell good. People like being around them. Two, don't have to bake now. You want fresh bread, it's right over there. People will take walks. The neighborhood value increases because of the presence of a bakery. Now you replace that with a hen house, a chicken farm, and now you've got chickens crowing all times of the night, the sounds of chickens being slaughtered, and that's going to be a surprisingly less positive experience, even though it's producing roughly the same amount of food. You can see how some businesses are better to be near residential zones than others. This is all part of the social contract. In order to participate in a society that is full of specialists that seek to maintain your physical health, and specialists that provide food, specialists that provide shelter, specialists that provide clothing, and so forth. In order to be a part of that, you have to be careful not to mess up what everybody is doing. So that's the social expectation. The fabric of society is don't mess up the fabric of society. Almost as easy as it sounds, but not quite. Not quite. Well, I think I've gone over the topic as far as I can. I'm going to catch a few hours of shut-eye before I have to stumble off to my own work. My YouTube videos have been slow to upload, so I'd rather make a shorter one than a longer one this time. Help expedite the process. Hopefully in about a week, my upload speed will get back to normal and everything will be right as rain. Until then, I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.